Sometimes, the enemy is the person right in your face. You do not have to look very far. Amara was not supposed to be home that night. Her flight had been brought forward by some hours, and she returned earlier than anyone expected. She carried gifts in one hand and the baby's milk in the other. The mansion was quiet. Too quiet. She walked down the hall to the guest room. The door was half open. She heard whispers and soft laughter. Amara pushed the door wide. Her heart stopped. Amara's hand shook. The milk bottle fell and spilled across the marble floor. Tears filled her eyes. Amara was 24, a new mother, and tired most days. She loved her baby boy more than anything. The mansion was large and bright, with clean white floors and gold lights at night. It felt safe. It felt like a dream she had prayed for since she was a teenager. Chuka, her husband, was 30. He was handsome, fit, and well-dressed. He worked in real estate and tech. He loved new cars and new phones. He also loved being praised. He liked attention at parties, even when he tried to act humble. Linda, Amara's mother, was 40. She had Amara at 16 and raised her alone. She never married. She was rich from fashion stores and salons across the city. She looked young, wore tight dresses, and moved with confidence. She liked the high life, clubs, yachts, and designer bags. Sometimes she and Amara looked like sisters, not mother and daughter. Sometimes they wore similar outfits without planning it. When the baby came, Linda said, "I will help. You have a busy job. You travel. Let me be here." Amara felt grateful. She trusted her mother more than anyone. She also trusted her husband. She believed they all wanted the same thing, a happy home for the baby. At first, it all worked. Linda took night shifts with the nanny. She sang to the baby in a soft voice. She wheeled the stroller around the garden. Chuka thanked her often. "I don't know what we'd do without you," he said. But small signs began. Linda wore a short silk robe in the evenings. She laughed too hard at Chuka's jokes. She stood too close when they looked at the baby sleeping. When she walked past him, her perfume filled the hallway and stayed. He noticed. He tried not to stare. Amara did not see it. She was pumping milk, replying to work emails, and texting clients about her next trip. She felt guilty for leaving, but told herself it was for the future of their family. She kissed the baby, then kissed Chuka, and they smiled for photos. One evening, Linda brought a tray to Chuka's home office: rice, grilled fish, and mango slices. She placed a hand on his shoulder and left it a heartbeat too long. He froze. Then he said, "Thank you, Mom." She smiled, slow and warm, and walked away with a look he could not forget. That night, Amara slept early with the baby beside her. Across the hall, a door clicked softly. Someone stood in the doorway longer than they should, then stepped back into the shadows and closed it. The house was full, but boundaries were thinning. The next morning started normal. Bottles sterilized, laundry folded. A driver took Linda to a salon to check books and returned her by noon. Chuka had calls on speaker, talking about a new penthouse project. Amara joined a board meeting on her laptop from the nursery. At lunch, Linda and Chuka met in the kitchen. She reached for the same glass as him. Their hands touched. She did not move away quickly. He did not either. He cleared his throat. "I can pour another," he said. She looked into his eyes and said, "We can share." At the pool in the evening, Amara came out with the baby monitor. Linda got up. "Night air is not good for newborns," she said, blocking Chuka from view. "Go rest, dear. I'll sit with him." Amara listened and returned inside. Linda sat back down. You are a good man, she told Chuka. You help with the baby. You carry him at night. Many men do not do that. He shook his head. I try. She leaned closer. You are more than trying. Later, in the hallway, Linda passed Chuka in a short dress and bare feet. Good night, she said, voice low. He answered, Good night, Mom, but a word felt strange in his mouth. A housemaid, Bola, watched from the corner. She saw the way Linda looked at him. She kept silent because jobs were hard to find and easy to lose. But her eyes were now open. That weekend, Amara packed for a 2-day work trip. She hugged the baby, kissed Chuka, and squeezed her mother. Thank you for helping, she said. I'll call every hour. You go and win, Linda said. She smiled wide. Chuka said he would send photos. That night, Amara slept in a hotel near the airport. She sent a selfie to the family group chat. I miss you already. At home, Linda told the nanny to sleep early. I will watch the baby, she said. The house went quiet. The baby snored softly. Linda poured 2 glasses of wine and took them to the living room. Chuka came out of his office. 1 glass won't kill you, she said. He sat. They talked. He laughed. She laughed more. She leaned in and kissed him. He pulled back, shocked. This is wrong, he said. She looked calm. No one will know. He stood up and walked away. She stayed on the couch and sent a text. Tomorrow, noon, hotel near the mall. He saw the text appear on his phone later. He did not reply. He did not delete it either. 2 phones lit up that night, one with a baby photo from a mother, the other with a plan from a grandmother. Day 1 of Amara's trip was busy. Meetings, a site visit, lunch with clients, and calls with her team. She sent videos of herself cooing at a camera. Tell my baby I love him. Chuka replied with a photo of the baby asleep on his chest. Linda sent a short video of herself rocking the stroller. It looked like a happy family. Midday, Linda told the driver to drop her at the mall and come back in 2 hours. She wore sunglasses and a scarf. She checked her reflection in the elevator mirror. When she reached the hotel lobby, Chuka was already there, sitting like a man who had made up his mind and hated his choice. Last chance to go home, he said. She stepped close. You already came. They booked a room under a fake name. It was quick. It was silent. It was deliberate. When it was over, he sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the floor. She touched his back. Do not think, she whispered. Just leave. Back at the mansion, Bola saw Linda arrive with shopping bags and a smile that did not look like work. The baby cried. Linda kissed the child and said to the nanny, Take a break, dear. I'm here in the evening. Amara FaceTimed. Linda held the phone up high so only the baby showed. Chuka waved from the couch, careful to look tired and normal. We're fine, he said. Come home, safe. Amara felt a small worry she could not name. I love you, she said. Both of you. After the call, she opened the hotel wardrobe and saw her dress for tomorrow's meeting. She smiled at the thought of surprising her family with new gifts. She wanted to be a good mother, a good wife, and a good employee. She believed she could be all 3. At home, Chuka showered for a long time. He stared at his face in the mirror. He told himself it was a mistake and it would not happen again. Then his phone buzzed. Same time, next week. He typed nothing. He put the phone face down. He turned off the light and lay beside the baby crib, listening to small breaths and feeling like a thief. Some doors, once opened, refused to close. Amara came home the next day and hugged her baby until he laughed. She hugged Chuka and smelled a sweet scent on his shirt. It was not her perfume. She tried to ignore it. Later, when she did laundry, a folded paper dropped from his jacket. It was a hotel receipt from the week before. Her heartbeat raced. "Who is she?" she asked in their room that night. "Tell me now." Chuka kept his face steady. "It was a client meeting," he said. "The deal needed privacy." Amara went to the bathroom and cried quietly. Linda knocked and came in. "Stop this," she said in a gentle voice. "You just had a baby. Your body and mind are tired. Do not fight over small mistakes. Men can be careless, but you are the wife. Focus on your child." Amara wiped her face. She wanted to believe. She chose to believe. She told herself to relax, but the worry did not leave. She started to watch other women. She suspected a young lady from the gym who always smiled at Chuka. She suspected a woman at church with loud lashes and tight skirts. She suspected the new receptionist at his office who called too often. She never suspected her mother. At dinner one night, Linda wore a short dress almost the same as Amara's. Chuka could not stop noticing it. Amara laughed and said, "We look like twins." Linda smiled and said, "I just want to feel young." Under the table, her leg brushed Chuka's ankle. He moved his foot away, then moved it back. Bola carried plates to the kitchen with shaking hands. She saw too much. She said nothing. Amara began checking Chuka's phone at night. There was nothing to see. He had started using a hidden chat app and deleted messages after every meeting with Linda. He hated himself for how careful he had become. One afternoon, Amara followed Chuka to his office and waited outside. She saw him come out with the receptionist and felt hot anger. She marched up to them, then stopped. The receptionist was holding a box of printer paper. The anger cooled, but the shame stayed. She went home and told Linda she felt like a fool. Linda hugged her. "You are not a fool," she said. "You are a new mother. You need rest." That night, a new message arrived. Change of hotel. Safer. He saved it on the delivery. The driver to buy baby formula or check salon accounts, and then asked to be dropped near a different hotel each time. Chuka drove himself and parked far from cameras. They used fake names. They met for short hours and acted like nothing was wrong when they returned home. Chuka told himself it was only for a while. He told himself he was trapped by a woman who knew his weak spots. He also knew it was a lie. He wanted it. He wanted the thrill, the danger, the praise from an older, confident woman who pushed him and pulled him in the same breath. At home, Amara kept seeing small clues but linked them to the wrong people. A new lipstick stained on a glass. She thought of the church woman. A charge from a boutique? She thought of a nightclub girl. She started to question Chuka daily. He denied calmly. He kissed her forehead and picked up the baby. "Please stop," he said. "You are making the house cold." Linda increased her presence. She bought matching outfits for fun. She chose playlists and wine for dinner. She started calling Chuka by his first name more than son-in-law. In front of Amara, it looked like a happy modern family. Behind her, it looked like fire. Bola tried to warn Amara once. She said, "Madam, be careful with people close to you." Amara frowned. "What do you mean?" Bola shook her head. "I'm sorry." Forget it. She was afraid of losing her job. One afternoon, the baby got a fever. Chuka and Linda took him to the hospital together because Amara was on a flight. A nurse said, "You two make a strong team." They looked at each other and felt both pride and shame at the same time. Amara returned that night and rushed to the nursery. The baby slept with medicine in his system. She kissed his forehead and looked at her mother and her husband. "Thank you," she said. She felt grateful and small. At midnight, with the baby monitor on, Linda texted from the guest wing, "Tomorrow, 1 p.m., use the back road." Chuka stared at the screen for a long time. Then he turned his phone over and tried to sleep. The more careful they became outside, the more careless they became inside. A week later, Amara traveled again. It was supposed to be 3 days, but her meeting ended early. She caught an earlier flight. She did not tell anyone because she wanted to surprise her family with gifts. She arrived at the mansion near midnight. The guards let her in with smiles. "Welcome, madam," they said. She told them, "Shh," and walked in quietly with shopping bags and a bottle of baby milk. The house was too quiet. The living room was clean. The kitchen lights were off. She walked up the stairs slowly. The baby's nursery door was open, and the crib was empty. She froze. Her heart started to pound. She hurried down the hall, then saw a faint light under the guest room door. She heard whispers, a soft laugh, a man's voice, a woman's voice that sounded like her own, but older. She pushed the door open with her palm. Time broke. Chuka was on the bed. Linda was beside him under the sheets. The baby's crib was at the corner of the same room, the mobile turning slowly above it. Amara dropped the milk bottle. It rolled across the floor, spilling white lines on the marble. "Chuka," she said. Then louder, "Mom." Chuka sat up, empty words falling from his mouth. Linda covered herself and then pulled her chin high like she was in control. "It's not what you think," she said first, then breathed out and added, "Don't shout. The baby is sleeping." Amara felt her knees weaken. She held the door frame to stay standing. "You," she said to Linda. "You?" The baby stirred. The mobile turned. The room smelled like her mother's perfume. Amara's mind tried to make a different picture, but there was only this one. She screamed. She sobbed. She asked, "How long? And why?" In the same breath, Chuka said, "I'm sorry." Linda said, "You work too much." He needed care. I gave it. Amara looked at both of them and saw strangers. Morning would bring questions, but the night would not end. They moved to the living room because Amara refused to argue in the baby's room. She wiped her face and stood, shaking, but steady enough to speak. "Sit," she told them. They sat. "How long?" she asked again. Chuka stared at the floor. "A few months," he said. His voice was small. It started after the baby. Amara turned to Linda. "You knew I trusted you," she said. "You were here to help me. You took that and used it to sleep with my husband." Linda crossed her arms. "Do not talk to me like a child," she said. "You are young. You do not know how men are." He needed a woman who understands. Amara laughed once, a sharp sound. "A woman like his wife's mother?" Linda looked away. "You are always gone. You are busy. The house needs a steady hand." The house needed a grandmother, Amara said, pointing to the nursery. "Not a chief." Chuka tried to reach for Amara's hand. She pulled back. "Do not touch me," she said. "You hold my mother. Do not touch me." Bola stood at the doorway, shaking. She whispered, "Madam, do you need me to call anyone?" Amara nodded. "Call my driver. Pack a small bag for the baby." Linda stood up. "You will not take my grandchild away from his home." Amara faced her. "Watch me," Chuka said. "Please, don't break the family. I am sorry. I made a mistake." His eyes were wet now, but his voice still tried to sound calm. Amara turned cold. "You made choices. You hid messages. You booked hotels. You put my baby's crib in the room where you slept with my mother. That is not a mistake. That is a plan." No one spoke for a long time. The baby cried. Amara went to the nursery, lifted him gently, and held him to her chest. Her hand still shook, but her voice steadied as she hummed. She packed diapers, a blanket, and a small bottle. Bola handed her the bag. At the door, Amara stopped and looked back one last time. "You both did this," she said. "I will not carry your shame." She left with the baby and got into the car. The driver closed the door and pulled away from the lights of the mansion. Inside the house, Linda rubbed her forehead and said, "She will calm down. She will come back." Chuka did not answer. He sat alone on the couch, staring at the milk stains drying on the marble floor. By morning, the whole house would know, and silence would no longer protect anyone. Amara moved to a serviced apartment across town. She called her boss and took leave. She called a lawyer. She called a therapist. She called no friends because shame sat like a stone in her throat. She asked Bola to meet her in secret. Bola came on a day off, frightened and loyal. Amara said, "Tell me everything you saw." Bola spoke in a low voice. "Madam, I saw meetings. I saw texts pop up. I saw them stand too close. I saw your mother leave his room late at night." Tears filled her eyes. "I tried to warn you once, but I was afraid." Amara squeezed her hand. "Thank you." The lawyer told Amara to gather proof. Screenshots, receipts, any video, witness statements. Amara checked old bank alerts and matched dates with her travel. She asked the driver for logs. She asked the hotel near the mall for camera clips on dates she suspected. Not all places gave information, but a few did. One front desk staff remembered Linda's scarf and sunglasses. She tipped a lot. The woman said, Amara sent a lawyer what she had. The lawyer said, "This is enough to start." Chuka called many times. She did not pick up. He sent long messages that started with "please" and ended with "forgive me." She read and did not reply. Linda sent short messages that said, "You are overreacting. Come home." Amara blocked her number. At night, Amara held the baby and cried quiet tears. In the morning, she fed him and smiled. She felt two people inside her, one that was broken and one that was strong. She decided to follow the strong one, step by step. After a week, Amara agreed to meet Chuka in a public place with the baby and the lawyer present. He looked tired and older. He said, "I will do anything. I will go to counseling. I will move out. I will sign what you want." He reached for the baby. The baby smiled at him. Amara let Chuka hold him for a minute, then took him back. "You don't decide what happens next," she said. "Your actions did." She filed for separation and started a custody plan. The lawyer sent a formal letter to Linda to stay away from Amara and the child. Linda replied through her own lawyer with anger and pride. "You cannot erase me," she wrote. "I am the grandmother." The paper did not care. It said what it said. There was one thing left to do. Amara asked her father and a few close family members to meet at a hotel conference room. She did not invite Linda. She invited Chuka and told him to come with his lawyer. People arrived with tight faces and low voices. They all loved someone in this triangle. No one knew how to love everyone at once anymore. Amara stood at the front with a folder. Her hands did not shake. "Thank you for coming," she said. "This is simple. I caught my husband and my mother in bed together in my house. The baby's crib was in the same room. It has been going on for months." Gasps filled the room. Some covered their mouths. Some stared at the floor. She handed copies of receipts, a few printed texts, a statement from Bola, and a brief note from the front desk worker who remembered Linda's scarf and sunglasses. It was not everything, But it was more than enough. Chuka spoke next. "I am sorry," he said. He did not try to explain. He did not blame Amara. He said, "I failed as a husband and as a father. I accept responsibility." Her father looked crushed. He pressed his hand to his chest and sat down. He could not find words. A door opened at the back. Linda entered. Even though she was not invited, she wore a fitted dress and high heels. She walked straight to the front and faced Amara. "You are shaming family in public," she said. "Take this downstairs. Stop this noise." Amara looked at her and felt nothing soft left inside. "You did the shame," she said. "I'm only telling the truth." Linda raised her chin. "You are a child. You do not understand how men are." Amara took a breath. "I understand how mothers should be." Silence held the room. Then Amara turned to the table. "I am filing for divorce. I will co-parent with Chuka under clear rules. My mother will have no access to my child until I choose otherwise." She turned back to Linda. "You lost that place. You threw it away." Security stepped forward gently. Linda stared at Amara, then at the baby, and then she walked out, her heels loud in the quiet corridor. Chuka signed the temporary agreement that night. He cried when it was over. Amara did not. She held the baby and left with her father at her side. Outside, the air felt cool and plain. No gold lights, no marble floors, just a mother, a baby, and a road that would be hard but honest. Final beats. In a city of mansions and noise, one woman chose peace over a palace of lies. Moral lessons. There are various lessons to learn from this tale, and some of them being that we need to uphold our cultural norms. There should be no familiarity between in-laws in order to avoid such embarrassing scandals. Also, how we dress may send a wrong signal to the opposite gender, and we need to dress appropriately in the presence of our in-laws. What moral lessons have you learnt from this story? Please share in the comment sections. Remember to like the video and share it with your friends. Before you go, please subscribe and help me grow the family. See you in the next enchanting tale. Bye, and God bless you.